all dignitaries, distinguished guests, and prestigious delegates. यहाँ से हो गई ये वाली ना, एक बस सीधी बात सुनो आला, यहाँ वाली उसने ले ली है फ्लिप, यहाँ वाली ना सीधी रख के ना बस हिलानी नहीं है, फिर ले लेना तब। अरे ले लो, इस पे क्रॉप करके ना अभी आती है तो एक सीधी रखनी है, सिर्फ इधर उधर नहीं करनी, ठीक है। हाय, ये लाइट्स ऑफ करो। लाइट्स पे कौन है? नात और तिलावत के स्टूडेंट्स काइंडली कम फॉरवर्ड। हाँ ले लो। हाँ जी। मॉर्निंग टू ऑल डिग्निटरीज। सर ये वाला अभी कैमरा चलेगा जिसपे शॉट आएगा? बात सुनो यार, ये डेस्क के ऊपर वाली लाइट चला दो। कौन सी? ये बात, ये वाली लाइट वहां से बात आपके पास। बस एक जगह। हाँ, क्रॉप कर लो, ऐसे स्ट्रेट रखना बिल्कुल। ठीक है, ले लो। वो करते हैं, एक सेकंड ठहर जाओ। Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all dignitaries, distinguished guests, and prestigious listeners. This is Maham Shakir. Thank you. बस ठीक है। Hello. Start the session. Cut to start. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all dignitaries, distinguished guests, and prestigious delegate. This is Maham Shakil, President of Nutrition Society from Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, the University of Islamabad. Today, we have all gathered here under the same roof to attend Second International Symposium on World Food Day. Let's come together as a global community on this World Food Day to transform agriculture and ensure food security for our future generations. It gives me immense exaltation to extend a very warm welcome to all present here. Let's formally begin this event with the name of Allah Almighty, the incomparable, the supreme inheritor, the most beneficent and the most merciful. In order to share peace in our hearts by reciting few verses from the Holy Quran, I would like to invite student of Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, the University of Islamabad, Ms. Safaf Ehsan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأزلفت الجنة للمتقين غير بعيد هذا ما توعدون من خشي الرحمن ادخلوها بسلام لهم ما يشاءون فيها ولدينا مزيد صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah for blessings our souls with some impactful verses of Holy Quran. Now, respectfully honor the founder of Islam and proclaimer of Quran, our beloved Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. I would like to invite student of Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, the University of Islamabad, Miss Amaila Seher.
फासलों को तकल्लुफ़ है से अगर हम भी बेबस नहीं बेसहारा नहीं खुद उन्हीं को पुकारेंगे हम दूर से रास्ते में अगर पाँव थक जाएंगे फासलों को तकल्लुफ़ है से अगर हम भी बेबस नहीं बेसहारा नहीं खुद उन्हीं को पुकारेंगे हम दूर से रास्ते में अगर पाँव थक जाएंगे जैसे ही सब्ज़ गुंबद नज़र आएगा बंदगी करीना बदल जाएगा। फासलों को तकल्लुफ़ है हमसे अगर, हम भी बेबस नहीं, बेसहारा नहीं। हम मदीने में तन्हा निकल जाएंगे और गलियों में कसदम भटक जाएंगे। जैसे ही सब्ज़ गुंबद नज़र आएगा, बंदगी का करीना बदल जाएगा। फासलों को तकल्लुफ़ है हमसे अगर, हम भी बेबस नहीं, बेसहारा नहीं। ऐ मदीने के ज़ाहिर खुदा के लिए दास्ताने सफ़र मुझको यूं मत सुना। बात बढ़ जाएगी, दिल तड़प जाएगा, मेरे मौत आंसू छलक जाएंगे। फासलों को तकल्लुफ़ है हमसे अगर, हम भी बेबस नहीं, बेसहारा नहीं।
Jazakallah for blessing our souls with such a poetic lines. Now, to warmly welcome our esteemed chief guest of the day, Dean Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, University of Islamabad, Professor Dr. Tahira Iqbal. I would also
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable guests, speakers, colleagues, and dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I, Professor Dr. Tahira Iqbal, Dean Faculty of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, on behalf of the University of Islamabad, welcome you all to the International Symposium organized at World Food Day 2024. The Nutrition and Dietetics Department is proud to host this international symposium on World Food Day 2024. The theme of this year's event is Right to Foods for a Better Life and a Better Future. It underscores the essential nature of access to nutritious food as a fundamental human right. World Food Day is a call to action. It is a day to reflect on the fact that millions of people worldwide still suffer from chronic hunger and malnutrition. It prompts us to consider the broader implications of food security on health, education, and economic development. In a world with abundant resources, the persistence of hunger is a stark reminder of the need for change. Food security goes beyond simply having enough to food. It encompasses three dimensions: availability, access, and utilization. Ensuring that nutritious food is available, accessible to all, and utilized properly is essential for a healthy and thriving global population. One of the significant challenges in achieving global food security is the staggering amount of food waste. Approximately one-third of all food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted. This wastage represents not only a moral dilemma, but also an environmental and economic concern. As a Muslim, our Islam teaches us not to waste risk. Risk is maybe it is water to drink or food to eat or any resource. We are accountable in front of Allah on the day of judgment. This is the time to think about it. Don't waste your risk. The harsh reality is that in a world of plenty, it is disheartening that millions still go to bed hungry. The statistics are staggering. Approximately 733 million people still face hunger globally in 2024 worldwide. These are not just numbers, they represent human lives, each one deserving of dignity, health, and the promise of a full stomach. Today, we gather to deliberate and devise solutions to the global food security challenges that confront us. Our aim is to secure a future where every individual enjoys a healthy and fulfilling life. This symposium represents an invaluable opportunity to engage in meaningful dialogues, share insights, and foster collaborations that will drive progress in this crucial area. We are here to discuss and explore solutions to global food security challenges, ensuring a better and healthier future for generations to come. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to the organization and success of this event. Your dedication and efforts are truly commendable. Let's seize this opportunity to deepen our understanding, exchange knowledge, and work together towards a future where nutritious food is accessible to all. Thank you for your participation and commitment. Let's strive to make this symposium a catalyst for positive change and a testament to our collective efforts to resolve and improve global food security. I wish you all a fruitful symposium. Live long Pakistan, Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Tahir Iqbal, for your warm welcoming remarks and for such a meritorious introduction of the essential theme. Today, we're all gathered up here for the enthralling and successful conduction of Second International Symposium on World Food Day under the theme Rights to Food for a Better Life and a Better Future. There is no dignity quite so impressive and no independence quite so important as living on your own land and producing food for yourself and others. To reflect on the vital intersection of food security and environmental sustainability, basically empowering the rights to food, it is my pleasure to introduce our first guest speaker, eminent faculty member in the microbiology department within the Faculty of Science at Edo State University, Uzur, Nigeria. Previously held roles as the acting director of intellectual property and technology transfer, the head of the Department of Microbiology, sub-dean of the Faculty of Science, and also immediate dean of the Faculty of Science, and is presently serving as the chairman of the grant committee as well as the director of research and innovation at Edo State University, Uzur, Nigeria, none other than Professor Charles Ulvasham Adantunji, joining us virtually. Professor Charles, am I audible to you?
Yeah, you're audible to me. Tell the IT people to allow me to share my screen. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, you are audible to me. I can hear you.
Thank you, sir. Introduce the
But let's the IT people allow me to share my screen.
All right, sir.
Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. Your screen has been shared. You can start the session.
Okay. Is it moving? Is it moving there?
Yes,
Is
sir.
the is the slide moving?
It's sliding over.
Okay, is it moving?
Yes, sir. It's moving.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And I'm so happy to be here, invited as a keynote speaker. Uh, I want to appreciate all of you for this great privilege. So this morning, I'll be talking on the topic, right to food for better life and a better future. As we know that the whole world is just trying to recover from COVID-19, and after COVID-19, several parts of the world have not still yet recovered. And during COVID-19, many people were able to survive because of good food. And that's why some still have better life. But still now, many people are still struggling. They have not recovered from these domains. According to the United Nations, approximately 828 million people globally face hunger in 2021. A staggering reminder that while some nations are striving, some are still struggling to secure a basic subsistence. UN Secretary General Kamakai Mod said there is no better way to invest in the future than to ensure that all children can grow up early and well nourished. This highlights not just urgency of the hunger crisis we have everywhere. As you know, food is fuel. Food is power. Nobody does anything without food. So there are so many global issues that we need to talk about. One of them is food security, followed by environmental problem. So which shows this is very, very important. But before we go into today's lecture, I want us to have a basic reflection on some point that align and leverage on sustainable development goal. How do we provide food for ever increasing population? How do we use digital revolution in this context? When we have good food, we have a sustainable city, sustainable food and sustainable water. How do we educate many of our students that graduate? Earth is wet. Without good earth, no good food. Without no good food, no good earth. Some months ago, I published some paper in order to establish this in Lancet, how COVID affects so many parts of the country, including Pakistan, Nigeria, US, and a lot. So this has been established and shown and published. Right to food is recognized as a particular action that is necessary to ensure that many parts of the world have human right to food. Article 11 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights state that everyone has right to adequate food of living, including adequate food. Provision which underscore access to food is not merely a privilege or a legal entitlement. It encompasses the right to access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food to maintain a good health, which shows government is obliged to respect right to food, and everyone have access to it. I remember I was invited as part of G20 summit to represent Africa. One of the crucial things we were trying to explain and establish is the usefulness and right to fundamental human right to food. So that means food is essential not just for survival, but development of the society and individual. When people lack access to food, they suffer from malnutrition, disease, decreased cognitive, physical development, which perpetuates cycle of poverty. And this could hinder economic growth. So by human right, that shows. So in this topic, before me this morning, I'm going to do justice to the current global landscape of food security, relation between right to food and quality of life, potential pathway to sustainable future. I am going to talk about what you need to understand right to food, importance of food security, barrier to right food, partners to better life, roles of policy and advocacies. I'm going to share some example, and I will be talking about right to food in Pakistan also. As we delve deeper into this topic, we will uncover not only the challenges posed by food security, but also innovative solutions that can help us and collective action that can lead us towards a future where the right to food is a reality for everyone. Let's begin this exploration. In terms of historical context, in my international agreement related to food, FAO, I've said a lot of things. There are so many principles that we need to take home today. We need to take care of accessibility, availability, adequacy, and sustainability. Legal framework and global agreements involve overview retreats, convention to rights, and role of organization. Importance of food security in terms of health, application, economic cost, social stability, and economic well-being is very, very important. There are so many barriers to right to food. Talking about climate changes, local issues like access to resources, land ownership technology, financial and education awareness, barriers, systemic barriers in terms of agricultural policies, how policy can hinder support. Sometimes you have a will and not have the government support, and a lot of other things. Pathway to a better life through the right to food. Talking about sustainable agriculture, education awareness, community initiative, and local solution are very important. The role of advocacy involves government responsibility, international cooperation, grassroots movement, and civil society. What are the vision for a future and a better future? Goal for a global security is very important. We need to empower local communities. We need to carry it along all the farmers, stakeholders, policymakers around us, which is very, very important. Let me talk about some of the world cases that have established right to food. In Brazil, there's a program called Zero Hunger Program. It was launched in 2023. The Zero Hunger aims to educate and eradicate hunger to ensure food security to all Brazilians. During this program, the social program like Bolsa Familia to provide financial support to low-income families, those that does not have enough money to buy food. It also supports smallholders farmers to give them credit and technical assistance. It promotes. So because of this, there was a high reduction in hunger, and Brazil now became a world leader in terms of food production. Let me talk about Ethiopia. They came up with a strategy and a policy of productive safety food program, which aim at food security. Economically, food is secure household. Their desires were met. They provide cash for cash transfer, infrastructure, public work exchange. The focus on agricultural development and resilience building measure. And because of this, there was improved food security, increased productivity, and enhanced community. India came up with National Food Security Act, which was activated and came to law enacted in the year 2013 to aim to subsidize food grains to the poor. Entitlement to 5 kilograms of food grains per person per month at a subsidized rate. They cover this for almost 2/3 of the population by emphasizing specific under-marginalized group and such as women and children. They focus on improving nutrition. This increased food for millions and help to reduce hunger and improve child nutrition. There are some challenges in some of these world's situation. Yemen experienced humanitarian crisis, ongoing conflict in terms of food insecurity and malnutrition. There were blockades, conflicts, lack of access. Approximately 17 million people face food insecurity. The impact of conflict of food needs international humanitarian efforts. Venezuela is also undergoing economic crisis, which have resulted in widespread food shortage and malnutrition. Hyperinflation and economic malnutrition lead to food scarcity. So that means there is a need for malnutrition, and government ability to effectively address this crisis. Important stable government and policy is necessary to ensure this. USA, food insecurity and inadequacy. Despite being a wealthy nation, food insecurity affects millions of Americans. Key issue that needs to be emphasized on economic disparity and systemic barrier access to the livelihood, high rate of food insecurity among marginalized communities like racial minorities, low income, challenges in supplemental nutrient assistance program, benefit and accessibility. So there is a need. So what are the solutions that can help us? Finland came up with food reduction initiative, which was established to strengthen and strategize a policy that will help to combat food waste and promote food security. Campaign and awareness about food were raised among consumers and business owners. They partner with World Bank. That's another thing to reduce food supply. Government policy was very good, which enhanced and encouraged food waste reduction and food supply. After coming up with this, Finland experienced significant food waste, reduction in food waste, improved food access. South Africa came up with community food garden by encouraging every family, every society to have a garden. They can have their vegetable, they have access to their tomato, to their banana, to a lot of other things. And through this, there was increase in food security. Japan came up with local food system and resilience, and they have a stronger food system and global food supply. So if you look at all these countries I've been talking about, overview, let me now talk about Pakistan. The right to food is recognized as a fundamental human right under international law, including the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, which Pakistan is a signatory to. These ensure availability, accessibility, adequacy, and sustainable of food for all. Now, what is the current situation in Pakistan? Pakistan faces significant food security challenges, according to Global Under Index 2023, which rank 107 out of 125. Now, there are a lot of factors that might have caused this. Climate changes, economic instability, conflict, displacements, and cultural challenges is also there that needs to be. Government policy needs to be reviewed and checked. National food policy in 2017 aims to ensure food availability. This needs to be revisited because it ensures sustainability and affordability. Now, social protection program like Banizia Income Support Program provide financial assistance to low-income family, and we need to reverse that. Malnutrition rates, according to Pakistan Demographic and Health Survey in 2022, stunting approximately 38% of children under 5 are stunted due to chronic malnutrition. Wasting around 10% of children are wasted in declaring malnutrition. COVID-19, I talked about earlier, also affected because during lockdown, there was disrupted supply, and this led to unemployment and food security, and people, some are still struggling to come back. Human rights framework is very necessary. We need to increase awareness and legal framework. I will try to recommend to Pakistan to take the following steps: recommend and strengthen agricultural policy, improve food distribution, enhance social safety nets. We need to look at the issue of climate change, community engagement. The way forward is that Pakistan is hindered by a lot of multitude of interlinked challenges, including economic stability, actual resilience, and impact of climate change. When we address this and concentrated effort from government, civil society, and international partner, I'm sure there will be sustainability, equity in food, and we are going to get it. Now, there was a time I made a visit to Humboldt University in Berlin, in Germany. I saw that food is not their problem because there are a lot of strategy they are put in place. We need to collaborate with companies that will help us. There are so many companies that have innovative solutions. I'm also representing Harvest Harmonic in 58 countries in the whole of Africa. So we as scientists need to partner with industry to ensure that we, and through this, they generate a lot of money, up to $100 to $200 every month in their university. So as a university, we need to partner with industry. We need to talk to the government. I've been invited by the government of Nigeria to provide solutions and discuss way forward in the area of agriculture on how we can solve human rights. I went to Wageningen University. The situation is not different. I saw so many food, so many things because of the innovative solution. Some months ago, I was given an award and recognition by United Nations that some of my work are helping them to achieve sustainable development goals. I would like to say here, whatever science we are doing, that is not going to solve immediate community problem, and it's not going to boost increase in food production, maintain good health, and provide a healthy environment. Now we are talking about one digital health. There is no need to go into it. So let's ensure we concentrate on sustainable development goals that will help to achieve the aim and vision of our community. Another important thing is students. When last did you visit students at primary school, at secondary school, at university? There's a need to put it on. Now, when I was doing my inaugural lecture, there were a lot of kings, a lot of community people that came to witness what I was doing. We need to carry community along. Anything we are doing without the community is not good. We need to demonstrate practicality by carrying farmers along. Show them how to do this technology. That's why it's good to show. I remember I was giving and studying young scientists when I visited India, when I Dr. and a lot of other things have done. Now I'm going to talk about some of my experience in terms of food science, food technology, and bioinformatics in this area. We must learn how to emphasize divine data and produce a prototype and take this to the laboratory. When we are done with this, then we take it back to the community. What we needed to emphasize on is translational research. It's good that we are doing applied and basic research, but it is high time we focus more on translational research. Now, it has been stipulated that the world is going to increase drastically to 9 billion in the year 2050. Then there is a call for us to increase agricultural production by 60%. If agriculture is going to undergo this drastic significant transformation in order to feed the world, climate change needs to be looked into. There are so many factors that we need to focus on. Now, there are 4 major goals of our time. How do we achieve food security? Avoid dangerous climate change, health challenges. We produce students. Can they become entrepreneur by producing it? Let me talk about some of my work. In my research lab, we have been able to produce biopesticide and nanotechnology, and it has a lot of advantage. We have produced nanostructure, nanocapsule, nanosphere, and a nanosphere, and a lot of other things that can help to innovate, modify, release in a complex atmosphere, decrease pesticides, lynching, and minimize a lot of other stuff. So we have also produced RNA-based technology that can help in resolving a lot of that. Why is because the surface plasma resonance characteristics of this nanomolecule have unique pesticide capability. We have also produced lipid nanopesticide because of their large surface area, unique chemical property. All formation bases are designed to enhance active solubility. It has improved biodegradability and stability and wettability. And not only that, we went further to establish their activity. And you can see that nanoagrochemical is one of the things that is, and having done this, I was able to produce almost 6 to 7 textbooks in the area of this nanotechnology. And these are the evidence of the published textbook. And also we have come up with the production of we were able to write a book on nanobiosensor in order to dictate effect of these nanopesticides in the environment. Now, we also went further to establish discovery of a new herbicide because this is going to help farmers to prevent the usage of synthetic herbicide, which is a threat to food safety, ecosystem, and human health. We have established the molecular characteristics, the 16S RNA, 18S RNA, D1, D2 region, interscambral spacer. We have done the homology, and this is showing the distance tree. And these are the publications in international records in this regard, showing what we have done. We went further to establish the metabolomic profile of the active herbicide, and these are showing paper in this regard. We went further to establish the mode of action of this particular herbicide on biochemical, physiological, and autosocial tested weight, and these are showing the publication. After that, we went to the mass production of the herbicide. And that's what I'm saying, whatever you are doing, you need to practicalize and produce the product. So we went to the industry in order to mass produce using submerged fermentation, biphasic fermentation, and solid phase fermentation. And we're able to produce these herbicide, and these are the active components responsible for herbicide component of this structure. We went further to establish the APLC, FTR, SPSC, and proton NMR and carbon NMR, and also depth 45, 90, 135, COSI were also performed, and these are the publication in this regard. And we went further to establish the synergetic effect of agricultural waste, how they can be used to enhance efficiency. And this is showing me teaching my students, we need to carry our students along in whatever we are doing because they are the future of the tomorrow. So we went further to establish quaternary assessment of bioherbicide to ensure that the health status of soil and organisms are responsible in biocycling. And these are showing the publication in that regard where we have published and established that. And we need to show farmers what we are doing. You need to carry a Greek economist along so that they help us in economic feasibility of the technology we are doing. We need to file our patent. This is showing some patents I have documented in my area. And also of recent, carbon-based nanotube in agriculture and environment were developed, and we are partnering with some Chinese government in this regard. We have been able to produce single wall nanotube, multi-wall nanotube, and a lot of other technology in this regard have been. So we have advantage. It can increase crop yield, nano encapsulation, plant protection, antimicrobial agent, nanobiotechnology, solvent, environmental and reliable. So it has capability to increase food. Carbon nanotube have capacity to increase food nutrition, decrease pests and disease, increasing stress durability, plant physiology, and a lot of other things. So we have a lot of challenges, but through a lot of research innovation, we have been able to overcome this. And we also have application in environment also. One of the things we have used in food science and in food technology is microbial surfactant. And we have done this because we discovered that it has a lot of application in agricultural waste, municipal waste, dairy waste, industrial waste, food waste, and oil waste have a lot of phosphates. And we have been able to use a lot of machine and techniques to establish the characterization and the structure of surfactants in a lot of these contexts. So activation assembly of the plasmopagnetic surfactants for installation was also established, and we have done this. So what did you do? We established new raminolipid that is safe and have a lot of environmental friendly. And this is the laboratory where I did the work. And I want to encourage all of us that after we have a good result in our lab, let's ensure we enjoy ourselves and have a party with our students as a faculty member. And this is me in India, after where I did the work with Professor Suranjit. And we have established the structural homology, and this is showing the optimization. This is showing the publication from that work that we have done. And we have optimized and also activate what enzymes are responsible for the enzyme biodegradation in waste also. We've also produced nanotechnology in order to ensure this. And after we have done this and the impact, I'm talking about impact, I've been invited by Elsevier to produce 5 textbooks on surfactants, including application of surfactants in agriculture, application of surfactants in the food sector. So you can go to the website, and if you need some of these, let me know. So algae research is another thing. We have produced a lot of food engineering and food science through algae, and this has a lot of advantage in cancer delivery, drug delivery, therapy, antimicrobial agent, and all of it. And I've been able to produce 2 textbooks also in this regard. Now, there was a time in Africa that many people could not have animal, produce more animal because of the high cost of animal feed. So I came up with a simple, adaptable methodology that will assist various farmers, stakeholders, and industries in converting the agricultural waste in developing countries, which Pakistan and India and a lot of other developing countries are not left behind. So waste is not waste. What do? We do biotechnology to convert this. And we have been able to convert agricultural waste into food using solid state fermentation. And you can see on the board, we were able to raise our chicken within 3 weeks. And what did we do? We produced immobilized enzyme. And this immobilized enzyme helps us to biodegrade keratinolytic feather waste. And we are able to produce animal feed. And you can see the agricultural waste on floor and how we turn them to very good publication by producing immobilized enzymes. And these are the immobilized enzymes by my students. You can see the student working in the laboratory. And this is the chicken that we produce, and these are the results. And I'm happy to announce to you, this was one of the reasons why I was given a fellow of the Royal Society of Biology in London. And this is me talking to them on this subject topic of keratinolytic enzymes, how they help to produce animal feed. And also, we've been able to use mushroom biotechnology to produce a lot of agricultural waste in order to feed the farmers, to feed the chicken. And these are the results and the publication we got from this. Not only that, I've been able to produce some edible coatings that will extend fruit, shelf life, and vegetable. And these are some of the technology. Why did we derive this from chitosan that was derived from a chitin, the crustacean, through the process of the acetylation, depolarization, and demineralization. And we've been able to use these edible coating and films now to extend the shelf life of food. And that's what took me to Hebrew University in Rainfort's campus. I was there for several months where we collaborated and we have been able to share the idea. So not only that, and these are the publication I got in that regard after my visit to Hebrew University. We've been able to produce glucose syrups from cassava flour also, in order for the. Also, we've been able to work on endophytes that help, and this is my picture in Australia and in Melbourne, where I was invited as a distinguished professor in order to share my idea and how endophytes have helped to increase. And not only that, this is my student that have PhD during their Viva when after working on endophytes. And polymers also, we have excised from bacteria and fungi, and we derive also some of these edible coatings that will extend shelf life of fruit and vegetable, and also perishable like meat, fish, and a lot of other things. And we also employ nanotechnology, and this is me at a Muslim University, Jawaharlal, and India, where I was able to work on nanotechnology and collaborate with a lot of universities. This is Melamia Islamia in New Delhi. And also, we've been able to work with engineering nanotube for sustainable agricultural something. And through this, we've been able to ensure plant sensor, diverse mechanism interaction with crop, T9 and antimicrobial agents. And we've been able to produce metabolite for models to ensure the shelf life and increase the growth and rapid growth of tomato plant. Also, one thing that help us to achieve success is interaction with the farmers. And these are publication. Also, during COVID-19, when nobody goes out, we were able to come up with evolutionary protein structure function of that could help us to analyze African cassava mosaic virus, because cassava is a stable wood and they produce a lot of post-harvest losses. Production is not a problem in most of the world, but losses in the US is around 1.9 to 2.9 billion per year. You can see it's a very huge amount of money. So we came up with a mechanism that can help us to analyze the protein, cassava mosaic virus protein family, and we're able to show the phylogenetic tree to establish the protein code, establish the alignment of the cassava mosaic virus using combat strand-based multiple alignments. We also went into distribution of the conserved motif, the sequence, and a lot of pontiff motifs were compared. This was done in different countries in Kenya, Ghana, Angola, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and Tanzania, Uganda. And at the end of the day, we were able to establish the biological process ontology, cellular process ontology, and molecular science ontology. And we discovered that this protein could help to extend the shelf life of fruit and vegetable. And we also work on cytochrome P450. And this work was acknowledged by American Society of Microbiology, Federation of European Microbiology, and Bill Gates also supported this our work. And we have been able to establish various aspergillus virus and Fusarium species that could cause cancer in food and other things. Another good project I would like to talk about is US, European, African, Asian, Pacific, Caribbean initiative, whereby we work on nanotube, genetic engineering plants to ensure easy passage and transfer of genetic material. And also, before I round up my topic this morning, food is a medicine. We need to eat good food. When we eat good, it's like a medicine. Mushroom, we have them plenty. We need to work on it. Drugs, this is a drug we produce in our laboratory, and we send this to Europe, to America, to every part of the world. We need to develop phytochemicals into food that can help us to solve several challenges. Before we round up, what do we need to do a very good research? We need a sustainable research funding, long-term research strategy, professional research development, proactive communication. Technology transfer is very important. Regional markets general is very important. We need to build the culture of science, build up a cultural science, building the gap, proactive research development. I look at the top 10, 100 universities around the world. When will our university join them? We need to do good research. We need to do good technology. I saw Harvard University, Cambridge, Berkeley, MIT, Oxford, and a lot of other things. Why did they achieve these results? Because they gain new experience, they make new contact with foreign organizations, develop new research feeds, build more economy, and a lot of other additional funding. Until when academia, industry, and collaborate, there is nothing we can get. So we need to work together. We need to collaborate. What do we need to do? University and industry need to work together. Commercialization of new and useful technology is very important. Teaching, research, service economy development is very important. Profits and products. You can see on the screen, this is the main important thing for us to take home and how to increase food order. Industry and university needs to work together. Until when we work together, we cannot solve a lot of problems. In conclusion, this lecture has established the use of microbiology and biotechnology to ensure there is increase in food production, especially in Pakistan and every other part of the world. Today's lecture has kindled hope for scientific community, deepening the societal well-being and the impact of this scientific innovation. The underexploited biotechnology and microbial resources in many nations and in food, investment in food production by federal, state, and local governments need a lot of revisitation. Science society and non-governmental organizations need to work together. Exposure of younger scientists, students, collaboration in training, national laboratory is very important. Through fellowship, scholarship, and exchange, will help us to have more food. All of us as a faculty need to work together, relate together, and discuss the way forward. We need to carry students along. This is me as a fellow of the biology. This is me as a president. This is me as a series editor in some of the book I am working on. So if you find opportunity, let's collaborate. And this is some of the work I'm doing as a series editor in the US. This is me being rated as #1 professor in Nigeria, also #1 professor in Africa, and also rated by top 2 world list scientists. And recently, in 2024, I was listed as a long list top 2% and the single year most important list of the single professor around the globe. Also, I'm also a member of African Academy. I have signed many MOU, produced so many textbooks. If you have interest to work with me, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm ready to work with you. And these are some of my series, my company. And Research Advanced Biotechnology is a program we do every year. Don't hesitate to contact me so that we can work together. And we have distinguished expert talk that we do monthly webinar. Don't hesitate to contact me. We need to talk to the government before I go. We need to talk to the government. I remember when there was Nigeria culture was banned to Europe in 2015, I was a consultant that was called by the government to provide solution and be part of people that will resolve it. Special thanks to many vice chancellors that have helped me to achieve this goal. I'm very grateful. I remember when I was Jawaharlal Nehru University in India, I was given an outstanding young scientist. This is me as a fellow of microbiology, this is fellow of biotechnology. And I was a professor in India that also invited me, that came up with 40 type of rice. On this note, I would like to thank the vice chancellor of this great university. I would like to thank the head of departments, the dean, staff, and students. I would like to thank Dr. Anom Nesta for inviting me. I'm very, very grateful. I do not take this for granted. It's an honor for me to talk to your university and looking forward to talking to you. If you need more of my scientific talk and collaboration, don't hesitate to contact me and get in touch. Let's continue to work and do science so that we can produce enough food for the ever-increasing population. Thank you for bringing me. I am very grateful and see you at the top very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a commendable session. We can have a little question and answer session with Professor Charles. If anybody has any question, they may ask. Anyone? All right.
Hello, sir. This is Amila Saher from the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. I have this question: how Hi, sir. This is Amaila Saher from the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, the University of Islamabad. I have this question that which practices are being observed in Nigeria to maintain the sustainability and food security?
Yeah, there are a lot of things in Nigeria also, like there are some area that do not have access to water potability, which causes a lot of challenges. Also in Nigeria, there are some regions that are under flooding and a lot of erosion, which affects what farmer plants. So when all this happen, there will majorly coastal area, riverine area are exposed to all.
Hello, sir. Am I audible to you? That was a great and commendable session we had. Moving on, driving sustainable livelihoods through mechanization empowers farmers to break traditional barriers, increase productivity, and enhance economic resilience. The agri-drive aggregation model in Nigeria exemplifies this by fostering agriculture innovation, ensuring equitable access to modern tools, and building a future where prosperity for smallholder farmers is not just a goal, but a reality. To further enlighten us on the agri-drive aggregation model in Nigeria, we have with us a self-driven agriculture and resource economist with 16 years of experience in agriculture research and development in Africa. All right. All right, we're reconnected with Professor Charles. Hello, sir.
With you now. It was a network breakage before.
All right, sir, no
I
problem.
can hear you. Okay.
Professor Charles, you may continue giving the answer to the question.
Yeah, so I said majorly in Nigeria, some area that experience food insecurity can be found around a riverine area and coastal area and waterlogged because due to some rainy season and some rain period, that some area might be affected by water, which might affect agricultural products and produce, and this can cause some level of food insecurity, and that is what we experience majorly in most of time and most of period. Thank you.
All right, sir. Anybody else? Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Professor Charles. We greatly appreciate your time and the outstanding session you have delivered.
Yes, thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
To enlighten us on the agri-drive aggregation model in Nigeria, we have with us a self-driven agriculture and resource economist with 16 years of experience in agriculture research and development in Africa, remarkable contributor in prevention of communicable and non-communicable diseases, Program Officer, Policy and Regulatory Affairs, Senior Manager, Policy Agribusiness and Commercialization, AgriDrive Nigeria, joining us virtually, Dr. Daniel Callo-Ville.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here. My name is Daniel Chalo. Dr. Daniel Chalo works for the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, an organization that is based in Nairobi. Let me start by appreciating really for the very good and warm welcome by the University of Faisalabad fraternity. And let me recognize in a very special way the very good organization by Dr. Anum Nazir of the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics for the very good organization. I'm glad to be joining you on this important occasion, the second International Symposium on the World Food Day. I'm here to share with you a few insights on what we've been doing, especially on building sustainable food systems and sustainable livelihoods through agricultural mechanization. And particularly today, I'm going to share with you the work we've done in Nigeria. That is the outline of my presentation. I'll give you some bit of background on the food challenge in Africa, and then I'll talk about the challenges in production and post-harvest loss management. I'll give a brief on our interventions in mechanization, and then I'll give some. AATF is an international organization that is headquartered in Nairobi, but working across 23 countries in the African continent. And particularly, we are driven by the vision of a prosperous, resilient, and food and nutrition secure Africa. And we do this by promoting and technologies that are able to transform livelihoods of farmers in the continent. And we are currently focusing on three important objectives. The first one is around diversifying the technologies available to farmers. And in terms of technologies, we've supported and worked on seed-based technologies in the maize value chain, rice, cowpea, cassava, soybean, among other food crops, as well as mechanization technologies and digital tools that are applicable to agriculture. The second objective is to support the commercialization and the scaling of these technologies to ensure that we reach mass and a critical mass of farmers to align with our vision of scaling for impact. The third and also very important is the issue of promoting the creation of an enabling environment that is supporting policies and regulations that are important for technology transfer and market access. As we do these things, recognizing that four things are important. The first one is that climate change is important. It dictates and drives how we do our farming. The second thing that is important is gender considerations, and therefore we focus on empowering women and youth to access technologies and other resources that are important for their production. The third and most important, and that is relevant for this workshop and this symposium, is the issue of nutrition. We endeavor to ensure that the interventions that we bring to the farmers are looked at from a nutrition lens. It's not just enough to feed people, but we ensure that we feed people with nutritious foods. And therefore, we focus on nutrition-sensitive agriculture. The last and fourth one is around data, and we know data is very critical, and especially for decision making. And therefore, we ensure that we provide decision makers with data that they're able to use in decision making. In the course of implementing our activities in the continent, we have learned a few lessons that I'd like to share with you today. The first one is that if you look at the picture in terms of the productivity of critical crops, especially cereals in Africa, you realize that despite having many technologies, the productivity in terms of yield per hectare is still very low in the continent. And if you look at the same picture in South Asia, you realize that despite other regions of the world producing up to 7 metric tons per hectare. In Africa, the average is slightly above 1 metric ton per hectare, and in South Asia, the productivity is slightly below 3 tons per hectare. Lesson number 2 is that in many parts of the continent, the farm holdings are still very small, and at the same time, the number of tractors that are available is still very low. Now, these two factors work out against enhanced productivity in the continent. Starting with the issue of small farm holdings, we know that in that case, mechanization services may not make economic sense, and mechanization service providers shy away from providing services to smallholder farmers because it may not make business sense to them. On the issue of the number of tractors, you realize that because of the very low number of tractors, and you realize across the continent, we have many countries with less than 20,000 tractors in the entire country, meaning that one tractor is supposed to do over 300,000 hectares in a year, which is practically impossible. And therefore, the few tractors that are available are only accessed by few farmers who are able to afford them. Ladies and gentlemen, besides the issue of low productivity of major cereals, we have another challenge. This is the challenge of post-harvest losses. And this is basically the measurable quantitative or qualitative loss of any given agricultural commodity. As we see in statistics, especially from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, FAO, more than 30% of food that is produced for human consumption is actually either lost or wasted. And this differs across different parts of the world. And particularly in Africa, the post-harvest losses and food wastage amounts to between 30% and 50%. So actually, you will see the picture here is that as much as we have the issues of food waste and losses across the world, in the developed world, we deal more with food waste, whereas in Africa, it is more of food loss. That means we lose a very substantive quantity of the food that we produce to post-harvest deterioration, especially because of post-harvest pests, and also quality deterioration as a result of poor storage. Now, the question you ask yourself is, what are the implications of the low productivity and also the increased post-harvest losses on long-term impacts? And the simple message here is that as we deal with issues of productivity, post-harvest losses, eventually it boils down to deterioration in health security, as well as livelihood security and well-being of the citizens. And of course, with low productivity persisting over time and food losses persisting over time, this means that we'll have very high poverty indices, and this is likely to impact negatively on the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, today I'm here to share with you some of the interventions that AATF, the organization I work for, has implemented to try to change the picture that I've just shown you. I know we have worked a lot on seed-based technologies, but today allow me to just focus on the mechanization interventions and to show the pathways that we've used to intervene in terms of livelihood enhancement through agricultural mechanization. As I discussed earlier, we know that the overdependence on manual production limits the scale to which farmers can farm, and it also limits the productivity, because research has indicated that clearly with agricultural mechanization, you are likely to increase the productivity. And therefore, AATF has had interventions for the past 8 years or so in helping and facilitating farmers to access mechanization services as a way of enhancing their productivity. And beside that, we have also helped to create, economically viable mechanization agro-service provision through farmer aggregation, and also build the capacity of farmers, not just on good agronomic practices, but also on mechanization and value addition, which are critical elements that can help to address the issue of productivity and post-harvest losses. We have also complemented these initiatives by using digital tools. We have developed an app called the AgriDrive app, which is an app that helps to link farmers to mechanization service providers. Our mechanization service approach has been through the farmer aggregation and agricultural mechanization hub model, which is a model that definitely helps to aggregate farmers in a way that their joint farm holdings can make economic sense, and therefore they can attract the interest of mechanization service providers who can be able now to economically provide the services. And by so doing also, we enhance efficiency in the way farmers access the mechanization services. And the hub can also be used as a way of training farmers and also helping farmers to access agro inputs. And all this helps really to enhance the productivity of farmers and also access to mechanization services that go a long way in transforming the way they do their farming. The hub model also has been used to attract the youth into agriculture, because youth, especially in the continent, look at agriculture as a very tiring profession. But with mechanization and through the hub model, the youth are able to be attracted into agriculture and engage in agriculture in a very productive way. In terms of addressing issues around post-harvest losses, AATF has been in the forefront in introducing new technologies for agro-processing. The latest one being a novel technology for cassava processing that we are implementing at the moment in collaboration with GIZ, Clayuca Corporation from Colombia, AgriDrive Nigeria Limited in Nigeria. And the novelty of the technology is that, as we all know, cassava processing is very labor intensive. The novel technology that we are piloting in Nigeria processes cassava without peeling. And this is an innovation that we have imported from Colombia, and it solves the issue of labor intensity. At the same time, the technology does not utilize wood fuel for drying, but rather it utilizes liquefied petroleum gas, commonly known as LPG, for drying of the cassava chips. This is also an innovation that introduces sustainability in the processing of cassava. And lastly, and most important, is that the project is integrating public and non-for-profit partners with private sector, and this is particularly for the sustainability of the model. Now, as I conclude my presentation, let me share with you some outcomes that we have seen from the interventions we have had in the area of agricultural mechanization, both in mechanized production and also mechanized processing. Number one, through the interventions of mechanization in the production of cassava, we have seen tremendous growth in farmers' yields. In some instances, we have seen that farmers have been able to increase their yields from as low as 5 metric tons per hectare all the way to between 25 metric tons and 30 metric tons per hectare. Now, this enhanced yields translates directly to enhancement in incomes. And some of the analysis that we have done is that mechanization in the cassava value chain leads to an increase of about $560 per hectare. And of course, this, as much as we did our analysis in the cassava value chain, is true for other value chains as well. In a nutshell, what we have seen is that mechanization has led to improved productivity, increased incomes, which translates to better livelihoods of farmers. The second area where we have seen some impact is on the area of post-harvest loss management through processing and also diversification of income that comes through the value addition interventions. In the cassava value chain, as I said, we have managed to train close to 6,000 farmers. Rather, that is the target we have, but so far we have trained about 1,000 farmers. And also we have trained about 200 food processors so far on the utilization of cassava flour in the baking industry. And as you can see, this is a way of helping farmers and food processors in the communities to diversify their income. The option of facilitating the processing of cassava into flour, of course, helps to address the issue of post-harvest losses, because with the processing, farmers are able to deal with the issue of quality deterioration that is normally experienced with raw roots. And with this kind of interventions, of course, we are anticipating that the livelihoods of farmers will be greatly improved. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, what we have seen in our experience is that it is important to bundle technologies, combining several technology options that help to yield different results to farmers. At the same time, we need to integrate mechanization systems, both in production and processing, to reduce costs and maximize returns to farmers. And also it is key to promote mechanization services for the highly susceptible value chains such as cereals, vegetables, fruits, and root and tubers. And finally, it is important to notice that for broader impact, technologies must be scalable And also, we need to think of affordability and driving high adoption of such technologies for better impact. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate your attention and looking forward to interacting with you in future. Thank you. That is my contacts. Let us engage, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Greetings,
Daniel.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel Caloville. We have been privileged to have you here today for this event. Food security is not just about having enough food. It's about having the right food accessible to all and produced sustainably. In order to conclude our first scientific session, I'm profusely elated to call upon stage respected and esteemed guest of honor, Associate Professor, National Institute of Food Science and Technology, Chair Policy Advocacy and Outreach Park Korean Nutrition Center, Dr. Ala Rakha.
Thank you very much, all the distinguished guests and hosts, Madam Sadaf and other honorable hosts, particularly Professor Dr. Tahira Iqbal, Dr. Sadia, and our distinguished speakers, Professor Charles and Dr. Daniel. So the theme of this year's World Food Day, Right to Food for a Better Life and Better Future. So it's very pertinent, particularly for us, the developing countries. Food must be dealt as a right. As we have right to education, right to assemble, right to speech, so food must also be treated as a right of all citizens. So in this theme, we had two presentations. The first one delivered by Professor Charles that focused on agriculture and environmental biotechnology innovations for sustainable development and food security. So in this talk, Professor Charles focused on how we can sort of integrate innovations to enhance productivity to produce new crops. So productivity is one of the main intervention that we need to do in order to overcome the food security. We need to breed new crops that are climate resilient, that are high yielding, that can sustain the changing climate patterns. You all know that we are rapidly facing this climate change. Our existing varieties, they cannot tolerate the heat waves. They cannot tolerate droughts. They cannot tolerate prolonged winters. And this has led to decline in productivity also. So apart from that, we need to focus on post-harvest losses, particularly in developing countries like Pakistan. We need to curtail food post-harvest losses. These post-harvest losses, they are accounting for up to about 50% of food losses. So a lot of food is being lost. Sometimes we just throw, and sometimes it is being lost during the supply chain. So a lot of food is being just thrown away at our household level. So we need to curtail that post-harvest losses in order to ensure right to food for all citizens. Apart from that, we also need to change our dietary patterns. The current dietary patterns, current dietary practices, they are neither sustainable, neither healthy. So what they have led to, we have 58% disease burden of NCDs, non-communicable diseases. And non-communicable diseases, they are directly linked with what we eat and how we sort of live. So this is very important. I mean, we need to change our dietary practices and patterns to make them healthy and sustainable. And our current dietary patterns, they are also not environmentally sustainable. We are sort of overusing our resources to produce what we are eating. So we also need to focus on environmental sustainability in order to ensure food security. So then there was another focus in the talk of Dr. Daniel on mechanization, how we can integrate mechanization to improve productivity, to curtail post-harvest losses, or to diversify our income. Mechanization is another important aspect. So a lot of our food, particularly if we talk about rice and wheat, is being just lost due to poor mechanization practices. Our harvesters, they lead to about 10% food loss. I mean, 10% of our grains, they are lost during harvesting only. So we need to sort of upgrade our harvesting equipment. We need to invest in mechanization. Apart from food losses, on-farm mechanization can also lead to food preservation, food processing. So in that way, we can increase the income, we can curtail the post-harvest losses, and diversify our income streams. So this is also very important that we can help small farmers for on-farm processing of their produce. Yeah, this is what we had in 2 sessions. So thank you very much once again to the hosts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Alaraka, for your commendable concluding remarks. Before heading forward, I feel highly honored to welcome dignitary Deputy Director Operations, Punjab Food Authority, Faisalabad, Dr. Qasim Raza. We also have with us Assistant Professor, Department of Nutrition Science, GC University, Faisalabad, Dr. Huma Amreen. I would also extend my warmest welcome to the Human Nutrition and Dietetics, National University of Medical Sciences, Rawalpindi, Dr. Abdul Momin Rizwan Ahmed. We also have with us Associate Professor, Department of Food Science, GC University, Faisalabad, Dr. Muhammad Kamran. Thank you, worthy notabilities, for joining us today. Now, I would request our worthy and honorary guest, along with all the respectable faculty, to join us for refreshment break. Now, we'll resume a session in a while.